You guys know exactly what we're in for. I think this is one of the few videos that need no introduction. Dude, even seeing this screen, I had the VHS tapes, as you did, as we all did. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Tony Hawk's Trick Tips. The end. Well, that's cool that 900 Films was already a thing. I didn't know that. I thought that was newer, to be honest. Let us have a day.
This video was brought to you in part by TechDex. Yay.
Oh my god. Tony Hawk's voice in like 2002.
Hi, I'm Tony Hawk, pro skater. I've been skating the last 22 years of my life, the last 18 as a professional. And the question I get asked most often is, how do you learn to skate? What are the basics? Well, we're here to take you through them with the help of some other pro skaters. And we want to get you started with all the basics of skating. So let's start skating.
This was legendary. Cab 7 and a nose slide back to back. Burial 5. Let's see fat tray flip. They don't make indoor skate parks like they used to. Wow. Kickflip 5-0. Like, people are a lot better now at tech stuff, but basically it's the same. Skateboarding hasn't changed a whole lot. Like, instead of a back lip, it's a back nose blunt or something. But, like, the alley-oop hard flip fakie is just so beast.
In this video, we're going to cover the basics of skateboarding. We're going to take you through starting out, getting in motion with pushing and turning the skateboard. We're going to talk about some basic street tricks like the illustrious ollie and kickflips and shove-its. We're also going to take you to ramp skating and teach you how to pump the transitions, teach you how to drop in, kick turn. And then we're going to take you to ledges and rails and talk about grinds and slides on there.
Dude, this video is only 50 minutes long, and they're trying to do everything.
You're going to need a skateboard, though. So we recommend you go to a specialty skate
I mean, we have an hour-long video on ollies.
shop and not a toy store, because the people there really know what they're talking about, and they'll give you the best products. So let's go check in with Stan at the boardroom.
That is funny coming. Like, I know Tony likes supporting local skate shops, but he also has gear at Walmart. So, you know. I'm going to skip to some... Let's skip to, like, just the first time on a skateboard.
Well, let's learn some basics of skateboarding. We're going to take you through the fundamentals. We're going to talk about your foot placement.
Dude, his voice is so legible, and it's just, like, a blast from the past. Like, I feel like I'm, like, 8 years old trying to skate.
How to push, how to balance, and how to turn.
It's so funny because, like, it is kind of a funny push. Like, you don't actually, like, there's, like, a push on camera, you know? Like, stretching the leg out like that.
Push, how to balance, and how to turn. We're going to tell you what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing.
This is such a great example of what not to do. Honestly, like, you can learn so much from this right here. Pushing is all about where your head and where your hips are. And you see I drew those lines kind of on purpose to the other side. If you step out sideways and you let your head come with, your head's not over your skateboard, you are screwed. And you will actually fall
we're joined by Chris Markovich,
like he is.
Fellow pro skater. Hi, Chris.
How you doing, Tony?
Thanks for helping.
No problem.
Let's get started.
I love that little chime.
All right, let's talk about your foot placement on your skateboard.
No way. Little trivia things. That's cool. Hey, Tony. You mind if we steal that? Alright, thanks.
All right, let's talk about your foot placement on your skateboard. First of all, you got to figure out if you are regular-footed, like Chris, or goofy-footed,
Tony has size 14 feet or something like that.
like me. Regular footers go with their left foot forward, goofy footers with their right foot forward.
In Australia, they call it goofy and one sec. Normal stance. I think it's goofy and normal.
There's different ways you can figure that out. One's just, whatever foot you're comfortable leading with.
A good way to learn is to take a skateboard deck without structural wheels, put it on a carpet, step back, and then just jump on it. And whatever way you jump on it is the way you're gonna go. And it's either gonna feel right or it's gonna feel wrong.
That's super
and you're
unofficial,
gonna know
but
right
like
away when you do it.
it's so hard.
When you
to
put your feet on the
know
board,
how
you
to-
want your front
to
foot at a
choose your
slight
stance.
angle, toes pointing towards the nose, right over the front bolts, back foot straight across, right between the edge of the tail and the back bolts, and you are ready to go. Make is they're leaning back and they shoot out as soon as they get on their board.
Have your knees bent, have your back foot about level with your front foot, have your shoulders square. You want your weight a little over your front foot, because if it's back, again, you stand on your board.
I like that. Leaning forward is generally the big problem. But I would say leaning off to the side is the same thing as leaning back, because if you lean off to the side and you put your foot down, you have too much weight on your foot. Then it takes too long to get off your foot, so your board starts pacing ahead, you end up behind it.
Loop out onto your butt. So have it weight forward, knees bent, and then you push off and you're ready to go.
And I would say my favorite tip for pushing is put your chin over off the heel side. If you put your chin on the toe side, that's just going to let you leak off the board every time you push.
Notice that the foot placement is actually different while you're pushing.
And look at this motion, right? That as your back foot touches the ground and pushes, watch its upper body shift over. Right? And then it kind of shifts back over the toe side, but then as that foot touches down, whole body shifts over. Okay, so I think it's safer to try to stay over on this heel side the whole time. I think that'll teach you more than getting stuck too far out here ever.
Foot is more of a straight angle, although you still want your toes and your heel on each side of the board just enough that you can make adjustments if necessary. The more you push, the more comfortable you will get with it. In time, you can take bigger strides and go much faster.
I recommend practicing single leg snakes as alongside pushing. So if you're can balance in this position and turn left and right, I think that's easier to practice than practicing it while pushing.
One trick you're going to learn in skating is the ollie. And the ollie is the act of
The
jumping
ollie.
up, using only your feet and bring.
Alan Gelfand. I don't actually know ollie history. I thought it was Rodney. So I don't know what's going on right now.
Bringing the board up with you without grabbing it. The
Great
key
ollie.
elements to the ollie are timing, and your weight distribution and your foot placement.
I like that. I think that's great. Those are words from one of the greatest skateboarders to ever
Basically, what
live.
you want to do
Didn't talk about anything technical, just timing, balance, and position. That's how you know Tony is phenomenal.
is kick down on your back foot so that just snaps the tail down. And
And he has a good
as
ollie
your
too.
board comes up, you slide your front foot forward in a rolling motion. That'll bring it level up to your feet. You're in the air, your knees are bent, and you land it with all four.
I agree with everything there. I think some tips that have really started to help people is as you're jumping, you push your back foot backwards and you lift your front foot up and backwards. I think those are the tips that have helped people the most. Because you look at, as this board is about to pop, you see those wheels start rolling backwards, right? See that front foot following this line, and then it's up and over the top. People think that it's forward, and well, it is forward and up, but you gotta first set the position back underneath you and let that board go back so you can create that circular motion. Ollies happen in a circular motion, always. Even while you're rolling, you just can't see that circular motion because you're rolling forward faster than the
board comes up, you
backwards
slide your
circles
front
happening.
foot forward in a rolling motion. That'll bring it level up to your feet. You're in the air, your knees are bent, and you land it with all four wheels. Place your front foot near the middle of your board and your back foot on the very tip of the tail. Kick downward with your back foot until the tail snaps off.
Tip of the tail or anywhere on the tail. Actually, I'm more of in the ballpark. Like, as long as your toes aren't hanging off the edge of the tail, I'm kind of
kick downward with your back
stoked.
foot until the tail snaps off the ground, and lift the front foot at the same time. Slide it forwards towards the nose in a roll.
See, this is where there's a big misconception, right? Sliding it forward towards the nose. If you look, this is a 90-degree line. It's actually behind the line, so that your front foot is going up and back towards you. And the reason it looks like it's sliding towards the nose is because that nose is now steeper. So even though you're picking your front foot straighter up and letting that knee roll to the outside of your foot, like knee goes out, foot goes in, and that nose comes up into place, it looks like your foot is going this way, but it's really not, right? So this motion messes with a lot of people, but once you get it, it feels more intuitive than it looks, and it actually really opens people's eyes up.
Slide it forwards towards the nose in a rolling motion.
And then at the
As
top,
the board gets airborne,
it is a forward
bend your
and
back
up
knees
motion.
so that it levels out.
I really like the bent knees.
Once the board is flat and at its peak, straighten both legs simultaneously, keeping pressure on your board until it lands. Good way to learn it is stationary. You can do it in the grass or on the carpet, and you will fall trying to learn it, so get comfortable doing it stationary on the rugged grass. Yeah, there's no motion there, so when you land, you're not going to be shooting out. The ollie is all about practice. I mean, you can do it for years and years. You can keep improving on it, but it's frustrating. You just got to keep at it. Yeah, it's one of the hardest tricks to learn, and once you get it, you'll be so happy.
Wow, the record is still very close to that, if not 44.5 inches. I think it's now 46, right? But that's 20 years to go up 2 inches.
Make sure to keep leaning forward whenever you do an ollie in motion to prevent landing in a wheelie and falling backwards.
Yep.
Once you have learned to ollie, try it over various obstacles, like curbs, benches, hips, pyramids, your friend's skateboard, or even your friend. Oh, okay, don't try it over your friend.
I wonder what skate park this is. This is so nostalgic.
All right, once you're pretty confident with your ollies, we can talk about 180 ollies. And 180 ollies basically half a turn with your body and your board in the air as you ollie. One of the first ways to learn it is by doing it front side. Front side means you're turning towards your front heel, and you can see the ollie the whole way around. Basically, you're winding up your shoulders and ollieing, and as you ollie, your lower body will follow your shoulders. And as you come around, if you're not turned completely, you can kind of use your feet to adjust that and land on your front wheels first and just sort of drive it around. Backside 180 is basically the same thing, but you're turning your shoulder the other way, going the blind. And same, not around the whole way. You can use your front feet, land, pivot around. You got 180s. And it doesn't necessarily mean one's easier than the other. I've seen people learn one before the other. It just depends on what you're comfortable with.
I would say even the VHS tapes from 20 years ago or however old, like Tony's got just such a balanced approach to tricks. Like, he's never getting too technical and digging himself in a hole. He's always just like has a really balanced approach to the tricks, and it actually like is sort of timeless advice. I would happily be giving every single thing that Tony has said. I would happily like give this VHS tape to someone and they would still benefit from it.
Just basically try both, see which one feels better. Let's go. As you slide your front foot forward to level out the ollie, concentrate on getting it just...
Same thing with the ollie though. That's going to be an up and in motion, and then, that as you as you level out the ollies when a lot of the footwork happens. But you're going to rotate hard off of the ground, get your front foot up and in, and then halfway after you're in the air, you'll let it.
Front bolts.
Yeah, it's past the front bolts, but if you look relative to the shoulder, it's your foot's actually coming inside.
Bolts. That way you can adjust for not turning enough with a slight pivot as you land.
Yep.
Make sure to shift your weight over your back foot as you're turning so that you are ready to land backward.
I don't know which back foot he means, actually. Your back foot in starting? Is this your back foot? Or is the one on the ground?
You can initially learn backside 180s by scooping the board with your back toe and making the turn in one motion. Be sure to look over your back shoulder as soon as possible in order to see your landing.
I like scooping it with the toe. I actually haven't really said that in any videos. I think that's a better cue than what I've been saying.
Possible in order to see your landing. Once you're confident with the backside 180 motion, you can try the 180 later in order to get more pop in your ollie.
And that's a very, 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 very good instinct. You're always having to adjust the dials. All right. So let's say you have like a lot of rotation, but not very much pop. So you actually need to take away rotation to add pop. You can't just add, well, you could just add both, but it seems to be really hard for people to do that. You're always taking the lever and saying, okay, let's take away rotation and then add pop, and then that more height you get should still complete the 180. Rarely it's just adding pop.
So before you go practicing these basic maneuvers in the skate park, we recommend that you try them near your home first, maybe on your sidewalk or in an empty parking lot where you're not going to be in people's way when you're trying the stuff over and over.
Skate park etiquette.
What best for me when I was learning was to learn it in the carpet at your house stationary. Get comfortable doing that, and then take it outside on the sidewalk.
He's all about the carpet. He's mentioned carpet like 3 times.
And then go to the skate park.
Straight to feeble grinds and heel flips.
Shove it.
This
Pop
might be
shove it.
Claremont.
Pop shove it is an ollie where you spin the board half a rotation under your feet and your feet stay in the same place. And you can do it front side or backside. We're going to take it through backside, which is a little bit easier.
First thing you want to know is it's not a good stationary trick. You want to have at least a little bit of forward momentum going, just enough where you're comfortable. And then next is your foot placement.
Yep,
So
I like that.
Basically, your back foot is really the controller of the whole thing.
I like
and
that.
When you ollie, you push it, and it turns 180. And your front foot is stationary.
Yep.
As soon as the board
100%.
comes around, you see it on your front foot, place it down,
Yep.
and you're on your way. And you can just practice the motion with your back foot, just like that.
I think this
You
is
have
all
to pop
genius.
the tail from exactly in the center, otherwise the board will flip as it comes around.
100%.
Give it a slight kick towards your back heel as you take off to start the board turning. Keep your front foot in the same place with your knee bent, waiting for the board to come around. As the board comes around, place your front foot down to stop the rotation and keep pressure on it until your back foot is in place. Straighten both legs once your feet are in the proper riding position and set it back down. During a backside pop shove it, the board spins the exact same direction as it would when you're doing a backside kick turn. For a frontside pop shove it, it spins in the direction that you would when you're doing a frontside kick turn. You got that? For frontside pop shove it, hang your back heel over the edge more and pop the board up by putting more pressure on the heel side of the tail. Keep your front foot up and give your board plenty of room as it spins around. You need to give it a little more space and time to complete the rotation because it will flip easily if it's caught too early.
I think as far as like one-liners go or a script for shove-its, like that was just so nailed.
Ooh, common mistake with the backside shove it. Well, Chris just showed that if you spin your board too far, it doesn't come out straight and you end up overturning and falling. So to avoid turning the board too far, basically it's just a more subtle kick. When you kick it out and you shove the board, you just don't want to kick it so hard. Do it a little bit lighter and wait for it to come around. Another common mistake is the board flipping And to avoid the board flipping, it's just a matter of keeping it flat.
I think the only thing, I feel like this is assuming that everyone's popping their boards really high and spinning their boards a lot when they're trying shove-its. But if you look at a lot of beginners, like getting the board around enough is the hard part, and actually getting the tail down is really hard. They try to scissor kick their legs. So I still would like to focus on lifting up that front foot a lot and getting the tail down and jumping and helping that board, feeling that board come up towards you. I don't think like too much pop, too much rotation, and the board flipping is like a lot of like the first issues. I think that's actually like a more advanced issue to have.
As soon as you take off, you want to take...
Let's see where we're at with we gotta check out kickflips.
Don't do what Chris did. Kickflips is one of the most frustrating
Hand
tricks
flip.
to learn in skateboarding, but we're going to try to help you to do it the easiest way possible.
This is so much of what you need to know how to do kickflips. Look at how high his hand is off the ground to flip this. This is where the kickflip happens. That is so good. I'm stoked
It is
you
one of
did
the most
that.
frustrating tricks to learn in skateboarding, but we're going to try to help you to do it the easiest way possible. The basic motion is just like an ollie. Your body positioning is the same. Your feet take off just like an ollie, but as your front foot...
1983?
The basic motion is just like an ollie.
1983.
Body positioning is the same. Your feet take off just like an ollie, but as your front foot slides forward, you give it a flick, and that's what starts it spinning.
Yeah, you want to make sure that when you kick your front foot off the board, you kick it sort of out, but don't kick it too far away or too straight down. You want to keep your front foot basically under you, so as the board flips, you can get your feet back above the board in time. And as the board comes around, you watch the board and you feet over your bolts, stomp it down.
A little wordy, but I like that first thing. Make sure you flip it out and up. I think he was going to say it. I actually am a huge fan of out and up and not too wide.
It doesn't always flip the exact same way, so sometimes it'll flip faster,
It never flips the exact same way unless you're Amu.
sometimes slower, but you can basically just keep your feet out of the way and watch it as the grip tape comes around.
You know, and something Tony focuses on a lot in this tutorial is giving the board space, giving it a lot of room, giving it a lot of time, get your feet out of the way. This is stuff that is just mwah, mwah.
Just stomp your feet down on top of it.
Like a good way to do to get used to watching the board spin is you can do it stationary, standing in the carpet or in your driveway.
Carpet
anywhere.
shout out.
Is just basically pop the tail down and then smack the board with your hand and then get the flip going, so that way you can be above it and actually see what the board looks
My parents did not dislike skateboarding on the carpet. I skateboarded on my carpet for years and also in my kitchen.
like while it's spinning, and then you can move on to flipping it with your feet.
And you can definitely learn this stationary: carpet, grass.
Don't get frustrated, 'cause this is one of the hardest tricks in skateboarding. I've been skating for 16 years and I still have problems with them every day. So
Kickflips are hard.
Me too.
Straight up.
Place your
Kickflips
feet
are
in the same
hard.
position as an ollie, but with your front heel hanging a little bit more off the edge in the beginning. As you pop the board, you slide your front foot forward and out slightly in order to start the board flipping and to keep it level as it comes around. Be sure to lean over your front foot as you watch the board flip, keeping your knees bent until it spins a complete rotation.
Nice. Leaning over your front foot as your board is flipping is a great cue.
Place your feet down as the grip tape side comes back around and is flat underneath you. Straighten your legs to keep the pressure on the board and to stop it from flipping.
Oh no.
As you can see, kickflips are not the most consistent trick.
All right, my final thoughts on Tony Hawk trick tips, ollies, 180s, kickflips, shove-its. Actually 10 out of 10. A lot of great, phenomenal tips. I actually assumed that I was gonna pick up this VHS and be like, it's just like hit your tail, slide your foot, like all the like same stuff in all the tutorials. I hadn't watched this since in 20 years. But actually, I'm so impressed by some of these cues. By like, what's the most important thing about an ollie? It's like, okay, foot position, weight distribution, getting your knees up, the timing of your jump, like things that aren't like commonplace in tutorials. I've seen a lot of bad tutorials. Giving your board a ton of space while it's spinning or flipping. Like, beginners do not understand how much space you have to give the board constantly. You are so far away from the board while it's doing its own thing, and then you land back on it. Also, really like the 180s, being like talking about the shoulders and your hips and where your weight is placed, and sitting over the front trucks to pivot through them and using your toe to scoop the back 180s. I'm like 10 out of 10 for a 2005 tutorial. I don't know exactly what year it was, but it seems like around then. And that's why Tony Hawk's the GOAT.